Now, from quad bikes to livestock, farmers across the UK say they are seeing increased theft on their lands. The National Farming Union says rural crime has continued to plague the British countryside, with some thieves even using drones to scope out valuable equipment. Last year, these types of crimes cost farmers nearly £53 million. That's according to research from NFU Mutual, the UK's biggest farming insurer. That's up from around 50 million in 2022. Thefts of GPS units, which are used by farmers to map their fields, rose by 137% in the last year, costing farmers more than £4 million. Our reporter Joanne Riddle has been speaking to one Shropshire dairy farmer who says repeated thefts are causing him major problems.
Dave Eardley was hit by thieves in March when they stole a £40,000 loader from his farm near Market Drayton in Shropshire. This, the replacement vehicle he got 10 days later, slowing work down. On the same night, they tried to break into his neighbours, and last year, a quad bike was stolen.
I think rural crime's rife. It's out of control. It's bad. It's more the inconvenience. You know, we've worked hard to have that machine, like a lot of farmers, so when it's not there, it's, you know, you wonder why you bother to start with.
Dave's the third generation of farmers here, looking after 900 cattle.
The real concern is the impact this has on farmers and members of the rural community. These are the people that are providing food for our plates and feeding our families, and it causes an immense disruption to their business. And also, it's different from a factory being broken into overnight in the sense that the farmers are here living with their families on site.
Meanwhile, farm animals worth £2.4 million were severely injured or killed across the country last year. That's a 30% increase on the previous year. It's thought to be partly down to people getting pets in lockdown, which weren't socialised. And livestock thefts remain high. In March, goats were stolen and calves slaughtered at a tourist attraction in Amerton in Staffordshire. And last year, vehicles burnt out in Cherbury by criminals involved in the illegal blood sport of hare coursing. At the Burwarton show, a police officer said crimes had huge impacts on farmers and rural businesses.
Sometimes they're distraught. I mean, a lot of people think just taking a tractor it's just taking a vehicle away, but it has a massive impact on the working day of that farmer. If I can put it into context, we had we seized a vehicle that had been found on the tracker for forensics, but every day that the police had that waiting for forensic, it was costing the farmer £600 a day in lost revenue. So a lot of people don't realise that.
Dave's increased security on his farm in North Shropshire, determined to do all he can to keep thieves out. Joanne Riddle, BBC News.
Let's find out more. We'll speak to farmer Tom Appleby. Morning to you, Tom. Good to see you there. Rachel Hallos is from the National Farmers Union here in the studio as well. Good morning to you.
Morning.
You're a farmer yourself. Tom, do you want to pick up on some of your experiences? And thank you. We can see that your cattle behind you there. How's it affected you, crime? Have you been hit by that?
Well, our sort of main theft was obviously our solar panels. We have a 150 kilowatt ground mounted solar array that disappeared one night. That was the sort of main theft. We've like most farmers, we've had all the usual things taken, quad bikes, trailers, etc. But the solar panels going was obviously a massive impact because we rely on that to produce our electricity.
It's interesting, Tom. I mean, you almost say, sort of with a resigned air, we've had the usual stuff stolen, quad bikes, equipment. This is all valuable equipment that you need every day to do your job.
Yep, but it is usual. If you speak to, pretty much any farmer, they'll have experienced a theft of some kind.
And do you feel very vulnerable? Because, I mean, I guess the nature of a farm is there's a lot of space. What do you do in practical terms to try and deter thieves?
If you speak to farmers, there's all sorts of different ways ingenious ways people have come up with protecting their property. Quad bikes and bikes are probably the most common things that are stolen. And I've heard of farmers every night lifting them up on pallet forks with their JCB just to keep them out of reach of thieves. There's all sorts of different ways, but it's all inconvenience or cost for farmers themselves, and we're not necessarily geared up to be as secure as other businesses.
It's really interesting, Rachel. You've got your own story to tell, which we'll come to in a moment. But it does seem that farmers in particular are very vulnerable. What is driving this?
Right, so you've got your petty crime, which is your little incidental things, which are equally as inconvenient as the big stuff. But we are very, very aware that there's a link behind this. There is some serious organised crime behind this. These are items that are stolen to order. So you will have people going out on farms, night time. These are people's homes. So people are wandering around at night when you're tucked away, you and your family are tucked away in bed. They come back and they are stolen to order. We know that that is happening. This is not small stuff.
And this stuff is ending up overseas? Quite
a lot of it is ending up overseas, yeah, absolutely. GPS systems, large pieces of machinery, quad bikes. I was nodding away, you know, when the story was being told there. Yeah. Very high-value items? They're huge value items. They're enormous value items. And also, but for a farmer's perspective, when you go outside in the morning and that piece of kit is not there, it stops you from doing what you need to do that day. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, this is bigger than people perhaps think it is.
And Rachel, you've had that experience yourself on your own farm.
Yep. Went outside one morning to go and feed the cattle. You know, we've got cattle at home and sheep at home, and the tractor wasn't there. So the tractor that you needed with the loader on the front to move the bales around to feed the animals just literally was not there. So you're crazy. You go looking for it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you literally wander around. Well, I'm sure I put it away. Where's it gone? Because it's disbelief. And then you realise what's happened. Then you ring the police and report it to the police. And then you ring the insurance company. And then we put a call out on social media. And bizarrely, we actually managed to get our tractor back.
Where was
that
it?
Does not happen. It was hidden in a compound in the centre of Manchester.
My goodness.
Was there any accounting for... Had someone driven it away?
Yeah. They'd literally driven it away. And it was hidden in a compound in Manchester.
Now, presumably, the financial cost for this on farmers is huge. And, Tom, I would imagine it also means that your insurance premiums are sky high, are they?
Yeah, not just ours. Everybody's impacted by the higher levels of theft on their insurance premiums. But, yeah, ours has certainly gone up a lot, yeah.
One element of this, I suppose, that members of the public can potentially help with is the loss and damage caused by dog attacks, which I did want to talk about, because that's gone up significantly as well. Dog attacks rose nearly 30%, as I understand. What's your experience of that been?
Us personally, we keep cattle, and dogs have not been an issue for us. I think that's more of a problem for sheep farmers.
Rachel, do you want to pick up on that one?
Yeah, we've had sheep on our farm, and I know a lot of sheep farmers where this is a major problem. Seems to be a recurring theme as well. And I think I've actually been on this programme talking about livestock worrying before. There is prior to Parliament, or the election, there was a bill going through Parliament, and what we're asking is that is. Come on, let's reignite the pressure behind that and get that bill through Parliament, which will give the police different powers when there is a suspected dog attack, that they will be able to take DNA from that dog and see and prove that there's been an issue there. Let's remind ourselves it's not necessarily the dog, it's the owners of the dog.
Yeah, Rachel, thank you for that. Tom, it seems remiss of us to chat to you on the farm this morning. Could you introduce us to the cattle behind you? Can you just give us a little show around?
I'll get out the way a little bit. So this one's come to say hello. These girls are all due to give birth in the next few days. So we're at our calving time of year. So we're calving now for the next couple of months, and we bring them up to up here so we can keep a close eye on them just as before they're about to give birth.
It sounds like you've got a really busy patch coming up. Thank you very much for stepping out on the farm and chatting to us this morning. That's Tom Appleby, farmer, and Rachel Hallos. Thank you for sharing your story with us this morning.
Thank you.